Hi, I'm Reva with Quality Sewing and Vacuum, and I want to talk to you about presses. Presses are necessary, or irons are necessary in the world of crafting, but there's an easier way. So I have three options here for you that we're going to take a look at. One is a press, and this is excellent if you're doing heat press vinyl, if you're doing sublimation, or you like to press lots of yardage of quilts and interfacing. That's great. This is an automatic press, and it's so slick. Then we also have this little handheld unit here. It is smaller. It is you're going to handle this one. You're going to hold it and you're going to put it down onto your fabric and leave it there for the however long you need, and then you can put it on your rest. Okay, but this is manual. And then we have this itty bitty baby one, and we're going to talk about the uses of all of them. But the first thing I want to do is show you, get this guy heating up to show you how this works. Okay, so this is the controller for the Momento press. And right now you can see it has a blinking light on it and it's off. So if we turn it on, it's going to wake up, and then we can change the temperature. Now you'll notice it's automatically opening up because as it starts to heat, you don't want to have that down on the fabric surface. But we're going to use this, and how simple it is to use is to change the temperature. You just turn the dial, and we're going to take this down to 300 degrees. There we go, 300 degrees. That's about a wool setting. And then we're going to push the start again. Now this is our time. How many seconds do we want this to be close? So I'm going to go to, let's say, we'll try 40 degrees, or 40 seconds. You'll see what we're doing here in just a minute. So I got it set at 40, and then I push that again, and now it's automatically starting to warm up. Now it's so fast. Within just a couple of minutes, it's going to be up to temperature, and it's going to beep at us and tell us, hello, I'm ready. So if you're wondering what on earth is heat set vinyl, heat transfer vinyl, this is the stuff that you cut out like with your scan and cut, and then it comes on a carrier sheet, and you weed out what you don't want, and then you heat set it onto a garment. This is perfect to use with a press like this because you have the wide area here. You got at least 12 inches in width to work with, so that's really great. Then sublimation is where you're going to take a sublimated print, so something like this, and you put it onto your project and you press it, and then it transfers the ink from the sublimation paper onto the garment, onto the fabric, whatever you want. And this is minky. Isn't that great? The beautiful thing about sublimation is it doesn't run, it can't fade, it won't wash out, it doesn't crack, because there's nothing on top of it. It is bonded to the polyester in the fabric there, and the polyester in this t-shirt, or if you have a mouse pad or anything like that. So that's sublimation. Okay. Then we also have other uses for our stuff here. So you could take lots of yardage. This is just quilting cotton, but you could press a lot of your yardage. I really like to use starch, spray starch when I press my fabric. I'm kind of a crooked sewer, so I figure if I have the fabric as stable as possible before I quilt, it's going to be better for me. Hey, did you hear it beep? That means it's ready. So what I want to do here is I'm going to fuse on a piece of stabilizer. Have you ever done that? You know, you take and you fuse your stabilizer, but it can take forever, right? If you're pressing a little bit here, a little bit there, did you get it right? I don't know if it got right or not. Okay, so let's get this positioned a little bit over so it's more right in the center there. And of course, if you're doing yardage of fabric, you're going to just work in sections. Okay, so now if any fusible, the bumpy side goes down to the fabric, and I'm actually going to flip this over. And I want to make sure I don't see any stabilizer hanging out the edge because you don't want that sticking up there. Now I'm just going to push the go button, just push the power button again, and it's going to lower down, and then it's going to heat set for the 40 seconds that I have on there. and you can see it's counting down right there, and then when it's done, it's going to automatically pop up. Now, probably 40 seconds was too long, so I'm just going to ask it to open back up now, and because I bet you it's fused in really well. So there we go, all fused down, absolutely perfect. So if you do embroidery or if you make t-shirt quilts, anything like that, this is a great way to apply your interfacings. Heaven's sakes, if you do garments, this is the best way to do your interfacings because it is a single smooth press, not an iron here, an iron there, an iron there. So I love it for that. And then I want to bring your attention to this cute little guy here. He's just little tiny. Isn't that cute? And you're probably thinking, what on earth is that good for? Well, let me show you an idea, because this is great if you're doing any sublimation or anything into a tight area, but it's also really great if you're doing it in the hoop project. Like this is a paper piece in the hoop, and when you want to, when you've added your next fabric, you can come in here with a little tiny iron like this and get right onto your area. Of course, it has this rest. You want to put it on the rest, not on your countertop. And you always want to have a pressing mat underneath it. But you can press right in your hoop with this little guy here. And then that turns out to be a cute little mug rug. Isn't that cute? So really fun. Okay, so then I wanted to show you sublimation real quick. Now I did have sublimated using the medium size one here. Just one thing to know is that you do want to have a nice pressing surface, a flat surface, and you're going to use your mat here. I don't have, this guy's not on right now, so it's okay. And you're going to put your item down. Now you do want to give it some weight and some patience. So make sure you're watching your clock, that you're there for the appropriate amount of time, okay? But the system here works very similar to the system that we worked with on the dial right here. Okay, so then I wanted to do a little sublimation project. I have an idea that this will work. If not, you'll learn, right? So what I need to do is I need to change the temperature. Let me turn it off, turn it back on. I'm going to go up to 400 degrees, full 100, and I'm going to increase my time to 60. Time goes a lot slower than I progress a lot more on my seconds. Okay, so that's good. Now I am going to use parchment paper. This is just regular old parchment paper, and this will keep any bleed through from getting onto the mat there or onto the platen. And I'm thinking, why can't we sublimate on organza? So I have a piece of organza right there. In fact, anymore, I only buy ivory or white organza, because I figure I can make it whatever color I need it to be for the project I need it to be. Okay, so I've got my parchment paper, I have my printout of my sublimation, and then I have my piece of organza right there and another piece of parchment paper. So I have all those layered there. And look at how fast that is heating up. It's just amazing. So usually when you sublimate, you're going to be between 370 and 400 degrees. And usually around a minute is the time that you want that to be. Okay, so that's almost done heating up. And anyway, one other reason that I love having a press to work with is that if you notice that there are no holes or no dimples on the sole plate of this press. It is completely flat and smooth. It has no steam holes. So you can rest assured that the entire surface is getting the heat treatment that you need to have your interfacing be attached correctly, or having your sublimation item or your vinyl, heat set vinyl, or if you like to do rhinestone transfers, this is what you're going to want to use. Okay, I love the beep. That says it's ready to go. So we're just going to push the button and it's going to automatically close, and it will do the countdown. And then when it's done, it will just automatically open up for us. Okay, we only have a couple of seconds left, and it's going to let us know when it's done, and then it will open up all automatically. I love that. It makes it so simple. Okay, so now of course when you're working with this is hot, so be very careful when you touch it. Oh, but how cool is that? So we went from, let me put a piece of white behind it. So we went from a white piece, ivory piece of organza to the printed organza. And on screen, it is just not capturing how vivid it is. You could see all the mandala there and all the colors, and it's really awesome. So this will be really fun to work with. So treat yourself, get yourself a press. Makes your life easier. It's faster than trying to do everything with an iron. And I think you're going to find that your sewing and crafting is far more efficient and will even turn out better. So thanks a lot, and get yourself a beautiful Momento press.